No one really knows with certainty what happens after we die. No one knows how to establish the significance of a life. What we do know is that we can make choices that affect the quality of our lives and the quality of the lives around us.
Don't speak to me this way. Don't ever let me say, don't leave me again. Don't leave me again.
The earliest photograph of me, I was maybe, I don't know, a week old, 2 weeks old, and my mother and father and I lived in a basement apartment in Harlem, and the earliest photograph of me is in a baby bath, you know, tiny little baby bath, and I'm being looked at by our dog and a cat and 2 rats because my father worked at Columbia. He worked in the chemistry department in Columbia, and so he had taken 2 pet rats. So I basically grew up with dogs and cats and chickens and rabbits and mice and rats, and so yeah, I've been around animals since as long as I can remember.
Don't hurt me this way. Don't hurt me this way. Don't touch me this way. Don't touch me this way. Don't hurt me again. Don't hurt me again. Don't hurt me again. Oh, you never felt this lost before.
The main reason I became involved in the issue of animal welfare, it's quite simple. I like animals, and I don't want to be involved in a process that causes more suffering for them. So that's what led me to be interested in animal welfare. And then I found out more and more about how animal production affects communities, how it affects the environment, both locally and globally. And it's made me realize that animal production, it's a huge issue, not just one of suffering, and not just one of personal taste, but the way it's affecting the climate, the way it affects water pollution. And I feel like one of my jobs as a public figure is to try to draw attention to issues that I think are important. And of course we live in a world where there are a million problems and there are a million issues that are worthy of people's attention, but the issue of animal production and its consequences, it's such a huge issue and very few people are actually aware of it. And so that's why I feel like it's one of my jobs as a public figure is to try and help the organizations who try to draw attention to the issues of animal welfare, and also on my own to try and draw attention to the issue of animal welfare. I would never look at someone and tell them how to live, and I would never look at someone and tell them that they need to change their mind. I will look at someone and say that there are a lot of compelling reasons to be better educated about the issue of animal welfare, and then make up your own mind. I wrote the book Gristle, or I co-edited the book Gristle with Mian Park, and what Gristle looks at is the consequences of large-scale animal agriculture on communities, on the environment, on children's health. I guess all I could say though is animals suffer, and we live on this strange planet and we know nothing about life except that it ends. It's the one given of life, is that at some point life ends. The one thing that we do have control over is suffering, you know, and so every creature who's ever born will at some point die. Those creatures don't need to suffer. And so I would just say to someone, it's within our ability to create less suffering on the planet. And I don't know if that would reach an animal producer or not, but that's what led me to my position as regards animals.
Why does my soul feel so glad? Why does my heart...
We can all be idealists and we can all hope for a perfect world, but in order to get there, we have to take small, slow, practical, incremental steps. And farm animal welfare and farm animal reform, to me, it involves these slow steps. You know, you can't overnight create a world where the trillions of animals on this planet are suddenly happy and well taken care of. You know, it has to happen slowly and gradually.
Don't let me make the same mistake.